What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to Matt Talks Hemp. If you saw Cannabis Corner episode 3, one of the segments in that episode was about an NFT project that's being launched by this group called Burn1, collaboration with the Weldon Project. And it's basically to raise money to help get people out of jail who are serving nonviolent cannabis crimes. It's in collaboration with Snoop Dogg, Weldon Angelos, obviously from the Weldon Project, and the artist is John Jennings. So I'm going to go into more detail about what the project is, what the art looks like, where the money's going, and all those different details. It's launching today. I'm going to post a video later today. It's February 5th. Public sale goes live at 4:20. Of course, this video will be posted after that. So the mint is live if you want to go check it out, if you want to support the project and ultimately support getting people out of jail who are serving nonviolent cannabis crimes. So we'll jump into it right now. All right, so this is Burn1's website, the team that's hosting this NFT drop, and they have a token on Binance Smart Chain. And basically the mission of this company is to propel the cannabis industry forward with reform through blockchain and Web3 technologies. So I think these technologies could help the cannabis industry a lot, especially when it comes to the financing. And so it's a charity token. Anytime you transact with the token on Binance Smart Chain, 3% gets donated. So in the past 8 months, they've already donated $24,000. So that's awesome. This is completely separate from the NFT. I just wanted to quickly talk about Burn1. Their team is completely doxed, so you can go onto their website. I'll link all of this in the description of the video as well. But you can scroll through here, see who's on the team. The chief strategy officer, Greg Steinberg, is actually the CEO of Belushi's Farm, so Jim Belushi's cannabis brand, which is getting really popular. And you can just read about everyone on the team here. So this is cool. Obviously, great to see when the whole team is doxed. And so we'll go to the NFT page. And so the name of the drop is Where There's Smoke, There's Fire. And this is an audiovisual NFT. So each NFT comes along with an unreleased Snoop Dogg song. And I'll show you where you can listen to that song later. The private sale started yesterday, Friday, February 4th. And the public sale starts today, February 5th at 4:20, of course, on brand. Also very on brand. The mint price starts at 0.42 ETH. It's going to be a Dutch auction where every time there's a 6-hour window with no mint, the price is going to drop by 10%. So I've never seen a Dutch auction like this, but pretty interesting concept. And the floor is going to be 0.16, so the price will never go below 0.16. No limit on the mints per wallet. And this is what some of the art's going to look like. It's basically a portrait of Weldon Angelos, and then John Jennings, the artist. This is semi-generative as well, so he programmed like different traits and characteristics to kind of add different color and different design elements to this. I believe they did a one of one as well. So at 4:20 Eastern, you'll be able to mint right from this website. Let's scroll down a bit because it says where the money's going. So 65% is going to the Weldon Project. We'll talk a little bit about Weldon Angelos, who he is, and what the Weldon Project does right after this. 20% is going to Burn1 LLC, and 15% is going to the Black Comics Collective, which is where John Jennings is associated with, the artist. This is the first of 5 planned NFT drops. I believe they're all going to be in association with the Weldon Project and Black Comics Collective, with John Jennings being the artist. And so there's also, I've heard them say some things that like this first NFT is going to have some utility and maybe get you early access to some of the future drops. But again, I'll have this link in the description of the video. So if you want to mint, you can come right to this website and mint from here. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about who Weldon Angelos is and what the Weldon Project is as well. This is Weldon Angelos here with Snoop Dogg. So you can come to this website. I'll link this in the description as well. And you can learn a little bit more about the mission of the Weldon Project and Weldon's story here. So obviously this is really small. You can't read this. To summarize this, in the late 90s and early 2000s, Weldon Angelos was like a budding music producer. He was working with Snoop Dogg, Tupac, like all of Death Row Records. And he was basically set up in a sting operation. He sold $300 worth of cannabis on 3 separate occasions to a federal informant. He gets arrested and he's in Utah. And so he was sentenced to a mandatory minimum of 55 years without the possibility of early release for $1,000 worth of cannabis. This is crazy. Apparently in the trial, there was a witness that said he had a gun on him, but there was no evidence ever presented of that. It was just hearsay. So there was kind of some weird aspects of this that I think contributed to why it was such a high mandatory minimum. And so he serves 13 years of his sentence, misses his 13 years of his kids' lives, and eventually through like a media campaign and bipartisan support, he was eventually freed in 2016. After he got out, he started the Weldon Project, and he's dedicated his life now to helping people who are in a similar situation to him, who are serving nonviolent cannabis-related crimes. It's no surprise that the war on drug has indiscriminately targeted Black and brown people, and there's specific communities that have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. That's very well documented. We don't need to talk in detail about that. And so the Weldon Project, you can go, if you didn't want to buy the NFT, if you're not into crypto or NFTs at all, you can just donate money to the Weldon Project as well. So there's a lot of good stuff on this website. You can read about it here, but that is a quick summary of who Weldon Angelos is and what the Weldon Project does. Now we'll talk about the artist behind the project, John Jennings. And so this is his website. I will link this as well in the description. And so John Jennings is a New York Times bestselling author, curator, graphic novelist, editor, professor, scholar, and design theorist. So this man does it all. And so this is some of his work, some videos from John talking about some of his work that he did with Marvel, different articles. So Beyond Black Panther, Afrofuturism is booming in comics. And he did a Twitter Spaces with the Burn1 team, and he talked about Afrofuturism and what it was exactly. And I'm going to not do this any justice, so I encourage you to look up John, go onto this website, learn more about this. But he basically said it's Afrofuturism is telling stories about the future of the Black community and what it can become. But also there's an element of like, okay, if slavery didn't happen, if hundreds of years of discrimination didn't happen against the Black community, where could it be now? Where could it be in 100 years? So there's different elements of it. I don't know too much about it, like I said, but I'm really excited to see the further development of these NFT projects. So like I said, it's going to be a 5-part series. So I'm excited to learn more about John and see more of his work and just kind of get more exposed to his style in the genre of Afrofuturism in general, because I'm not big into comics, but this type of stuff, when there's crossover to something that I'm inclined to learn more about, like how they're working with the Weldon Project and freeing cannabis prisoners, this is interesting to me. So looking forward to learning more about John and seeing some more content of his. So if any of this interests you, highly encourage you to check out John's website here. His Instagram, Twitter, and everything is all linked as well. So now that we've talked about Burn1, the Weldon Project and Weldon Angelos and John Jennings, some of the NFTs have already been minted by the private sale. So I'm on OpenSea.io right now. It's the main marketplace for Ethereum-based NFT projects. So we see there's only one been listed for sale. It's at 4.2. So there's only a handful of these have been minted, but this is some of the variety in the artwork. So they're all that same portrait, but some different colors, different design elements. And if you go into these, you'll be able to see here that you can play the Snoop Dogg song. So it's unreleased song. I'm not going to play it here. Go check it out if you want to listen to it. One other element of this that I haven't seen too much information on, but just listening to the Burn1 team, some stuff they've said on Twitter Spaces, there is going to be utility to some of these things. And I think it's kind of a secret which ones are going to have the baked-in utility. But some things that I heard them say, access, like behind the scenes access to some different panels at South by Southwest that Weldon's going to be on, recording time with him in his studio in California. So if there's budding musicians that want to get on a Weldon Angelos track and record in his studio, that's going to be one of the utilities here. So it seems like there's a little bit of mystery around all that still. I'm sure there's a lot more that I haven't heard about and that will come out at a later date. But I encourage everyone, if you're into NFTs, if you're into cannabis reform, if you're not going to buy one of these, just look up Weldon Angelos, familiarize yourself with his story, look up John Jennings, learn about Afrofuturism. I think these are all very important things. There's way too much of the NFT space right now that just seems cash grabby and scammy. So I want to shine a light when I find a project that's working in the cannabis space, doing things that I believe in, that I think are good, that I think are going to propel the cannabis industry forward. Because there needs to be a lot of reform around the number of people that are serving prison time right now for nonviolent cannabis crimes. I think that's a massive problem. And so I hope this project is able to, make a dent in that. So that wraps up my first NFT deep dive on Matt Talks Hemp channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you did, please drop a like on the video, subscribe if you aren't already, or drop me a comment with what you learned, what the most insightful thing that you got out of this video might have been. All the links are in the description, so if you want to mint the project, you'll be able to do that easily. And if not, I encourage everyone to learn more about what Burn1's doing, what Weldon and the Weldon project are doing, and John Jennings' work. All of their social links will be in the description as well. Thanks for tuning in.